West Virginia and the surrounding areas have always had a slew of reports regarding various cryptids. The developers at Bethesda Game Studios have helped revitalize interest in these cryptids in their latest release of Fallout 76. For those that don't know, Fallout is a series where nuclear war takes place in the year 2077, and people survive by retreating into underground shelters known as vaults. Fallout 76 has you emerge from Vault 76, located in West Virginia, 100 years after the wars devastated the planet in order to rebuild society, fighting a slew of mutated creatures along the way. The developers of the game took a lot of inspiration from folklore and reports of various cryptid sightings of the area, and I'm going to skim the surface into the history of just 5 of the various cryptids that make an appearance in the game. These are 5 cryptids in Fallout 76. Number 5. Wendigo. The legend of the Wendigo first stems from Native American folklore from the Algonquin tribes and is associated with harsh winters and famine. It is described to be a large bony creature with tight grayish skin, large receded eyes, missing lips, and huge sharp claws. Supposed sightings of the creature were said to be accompanied by a strong odor of decaying flesh. It is said that the Wendigo is a supernatural being associated with cannibalism, with some stories stating that they were once humans that succumbed to greed. Other stories state that it can possess and curse humans, giving them the same hunger as they have. In Fallout 76, the Wendigo's portrayal is fairly close to the description given to us by the folklore. Long limbs, razor-sharp claws, and tight gray skin are all present, and coming across one of these in the game really does give you a scare, as they are really fast and brutal. Number 4. Grafton Monster. In 1965, a young reporter by the name of Robert Cockrell in the small town of Grafton, West Virginia, was driving home from work on a curvy road on a summer night. When coming around a large bend, he was startled to see a large white creature obstructing the road. He described it as being around 9 feet tall, 4 feet wide, and not having any discernible head. He raced home and recruited 2 friends to go see if they could find what he had witnessed, though when they arrived at where he spotted the huge creature, it was gone, apparently leaving no trace that anything had been there, other than a strange whistling sound that seemed to follow them as they searched for the creature. The next day, being the journalist he decided to report on his sighting. This caused somewhat of a sensation throughout the town, with many people going out monster hunting in hopes of spotting, killing, or even capturing the creature, though to no avail. The Grafton Monster's appearance in Fallout 76 resembles the description given, though in the game, it is much larger and menacing. There is even a quest devoted to taking down the creature right in the middle of Grafton itself. Number 3. Snallygaster. Tales of the Snallygaster were started in the 18th century by German immigrants. The name comes from the German words Schnellergeist, which translates in English to quick ghost. It is described as being some sort of reptilian-avian hybrid with a beak lined with sharp fang-like teeth and a single eye in the middle of its head. It is said that the Snallygaster would pick up its victims by swooping from above, taking them away to feed on their blood. The legend of the Snallygaster re-emerged in 1909 with reports of the creature sparking interest from the Smithsonian Institute, prompting them to offer rewards to anyone who could produce a corpse of the creature. Even President Roosevelt was interested in hunting the creature, though the reports were later exposed as being a hoax in order to increase the readership of the Middletown Valley Register. Though the proven hoax, the legend of the Snallygaster has survived the test of time, even becoming the mascot of an annual beer festival in the DC area simply called Snallygaster. The creature's appearance in Fallout 76 seems to differ a bit from the description of the folklore. It doesn't have the ability to fly as the wings have been removed. It also has a large tongue that it uses to attack players. The beak that is described is also missing from Fallout's iteration of the Snallygaster. Number 2. Flatwoods Monster. 1952 in the town of Flatwoods, West Virginia, brothers Fred and Edward May were playing football with a friend by the name of Tommy Hare when they noticed a glowing object float across the sky, and land in a nearby farm. Astonished at what they had just witnessed, they decided to share their story to their mother, Kathleen May, who decided to take the boys to go investigate. They enlisted the help of a 17-year-old National Guardsman by the name of Eugene Lemon and his dog to go see what they could find. Reaching the top of the hill, the group spotted a large pulsating red light and began to be overtaken by a mist that smelled like molten metal and burned their eyes and noses. Lemon shined a flashlight to where he thought he saw eyes glowing in the trees, and that's when they saw what they described as a 10-foot-tall entity with a blood-red face with what looked like a cloak in the shape of an upside-down heart. Its eyes were glowing orange and its body was dark green. The mother described in more detail that it had small claw-like hands and tube-like cloth running down its body. According to the witnesses, the creature began making a hissing sound and seemed to float toward them, causing them all to run away. The legend of the Flatwoods Monster has since been embraced by the community with a museum dedicated to the creature, as well as a sign on the way into town that reads, "Welcome to Flatwoods, home of the Green Monster." Its depiction in Fallout 76 seems to remain true to the real-life accounts of the sighting, while also taking some creative liberties. It has a helmet instead of the upside-down heart shape described, and it still floats, though with the aid of a type of rocket booster attached to its sides. Before we get to number 1, I'd just like to take a moment and ask, if you're enjoying the video, that you please give it a like. And if you would like to see more videos like this in the future, subscribe and click the bell icon to be notified of the next time I upload. You can also follow me on Twitter at 2spooky4u5. Thank you. Number 1. Mothman. In November of 1966, in Point Pleasant, West Virginia, a number of people began to witness strange sightings. The first of these sightings came from a group of men working in a nearby cemetery when they claimed to see a humanoid creature flying just above the trees. A few days later, 2 couples were out in the town when they were terrorized by what they told police to be a large gray creature with glowing red eyes and huge wings following their car as they were driving through town. They ran from the creature and ducked into the local courthouse where they were interviewed separately, yet giving identical accounts to what happened, with the interviewing officer saying that he felt that they were legitimately terrified and that he believed that they indeed saw something. About a year after the reported sightings, the town of Point Pleasant would be witness to tragedy. In December of 1967, the Silver Bridge leading into town collapsed, killing 46 people. Witness reports claimed that the Mothman could be seen on top of the bridge moments just before it collapsed. This led to the theory that this and its previous sightings might have been the creature trying to warn people of the impending tragedy. In 2002, the town established the Mothman Museum, complete with a metal statue depicting the famous cryptid. The developers of Fallout 76 even included the museum and statue in the game that you can go visit. The Mothman is probably the most well-known cryptid to make an appearance in the game, though its representation in the game is more of an overgrown moth rather than the humanoid figure described in the real-life reports. And there you have it, 5 cryptids in Fallout 76 and their history. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, please consider checking out some of my other videos where I cover some recent Bigfoot sightings and other things paranormal. And as always, remember to stay spooky. Until next time.